Hello, friends! Sometimes the things we lack the most are the very things that push us to achieve the impossible. Let me tell you a story about a boy who did just that. In a small town in Ohio, there lived a boy named Daniel. He was 13, thin, and a little shorter than the other kids his age. His family was poor, so poor that sometimes they barely had enough food on the table. Daniel had a pair of worn-out sneakers. The soles were almost gone, and every time it rained, water leaked in, soaking his socks. But those sneakers were the only pair he had, and they carried him to school every day. Daniel loved running. His legs carried him with a speed and grace that shocked even his school's sports coach. But whenever Daniel looked at his broken sneakers, he doubted himself. How can a boy with shoes like these ever become a runner? He thought. One spring morning, his school announced a running competition. The prize? A brand new pair of professional running shoes. When Daniel heard the announcement, his heart skipped a beat. He wanted those shoes more than anything. Not just because they looked good, but because they meant opportunity. The day of the race came. Daniel lined up with the other boys, who all wore proper running shoes, clean, colorful, and strong. His sneakers looked embarrassing, torn and taped at the sides. "Look at Daniel's shoes!" One boy laughed. "He'll trip before he even finishes." The whistle blew. Daniel ran with all his might. For the first time, he didn't care about the laughter. His legs moved like the wind. He wasn't running for a medal. He was running for dignity, for his dream. To everyone's surprise, Daniel won. He crossed the finish line first, lungs burning, eyes shining with tears. The crowd went silent, then erupted in cheers. And yes, he won the new shoes. But more importantly, he won belief in himself. Years passed, and Daniel kept running. He trained every morning before school and every evening after his homework. His mother often told him, "Daniel, dreams are free, but the effort to achieve them will cost you everything." Daniel decided to pay that price. He wanted to become an Olympic runner, but the path wasn't easy. He had no personal coach, no gym membership, and sometimes not even proper meals. He faced injuries, doubts, and the constant fear of failing. His classmates laughed at his crazy dream. Teachers advised him to focus on reality. Yet, whenever Daniel tied his shoes and hit the road, he remembered the boy who once ran with broken sneakers. If he could do it then, he could do it again. At 17, Daniel got his first chance to compete at the state level. It was the biggest race of his life so far. But halfway through the race, disaster struck. He tripped, fell hard, and twisted his ankle. By the time he got up, the race was over. He limped across the finish line last. That night, lying in his small bed with his swollen ankle, Daniel felt broken. Tears soaked his pillow. "Maybe everyone was right," he whispered. "Maybe I'm not meant for this." For weeks, he didn't train. His sneakers sat untouched in the corner of his room. Then one day, his younger sister, Lily, placed a medal Daniel had once won around his neck. "You're my hero," she said softly. "When you run, it makes me believe I can do anything too." Daniel's heart tightened. He realized something powerful. His dream wasn't just for him. It was for everyone who needed hope. With renewed determination, Daniel returned to training. His ankle healed, his strength returned, and his spirit burned brighter than ever. He ran through rain, snow, and blistering heat. He trained when others slept. His sneakers wore out faster, but his willpower only grew stronger. Finally, at 22, Daniel stood at the starting line of the national championship. The crowd was massive, the cameras flashing. As the whistle blew, Daniel ran like never before. Every step carried years of struggle, every breath echoed with sacrifice, and every heartbeat shouted his belief. He crossed the finish line second, but for him, it was victory. His time qualified him for the Olympic trials. Months later, Daniel traveled abroad for the Olympic trials. He stood among the world's best athletesmen with perfect shoes, perfect bodies, and perfect training. Daniel remembered his journey. The broken shoes, the laughter, the pain. The fall, his sister's words. When the race began, Daniel gave it everything he had. He didn't win gold. He didn't even win silver. But he finished strong, placing fourth against the world's finest. For a boy who once ran barefoot in the rain, that was more than victory, it was proof. Proof that no dream is too big, no obstacle too heavy, no beginning too small. Years later, Daniel became a coach. He trained young runners who came from poor families, kids with broken shoes, kids who had been told they would never make it. He told them, "It's not your shoes that make you a championate. It's your heart." Remember, what you lack can push you to build what you need. Never stop running toward your dream.